Hello, this is. I thought it's appropriate to start this small video or vlog by talking about Windows. This is a Debian machine. It came with Windows 10, but uh, but I changed it. This one, I think I changed it right away. Uh, so, and I thought nothing appropriate then to generate. I had AI generate this screen saver, which is I thought it's cool. So just to remind me how awful Windows is, and I thought this little screen saver um, is a cool reminder to put in a vlog for all of you who are frustrated with Windows. As you can tell, this is actually a Debian, but I have it set up like Ubuntu. So let's and it have on top. I added also I activated the application menu and the place menu, so it can open as Ubuntu. It have the application menu, like those menus on the video activate. I think if you have Ubuntu, you have to download the extension. But nevertheless, this is not the main thing about it. But when I installed Debian run on a legacy hardware. I had to change to legacy hardware to take secure boot off. But even though didn't use secure boot because it was a Windows 10. But nevertheless, I had to do that when I installed Debian on this. And the other thing I had to do was I had to let's go here. I had to make sure there was somewhere in the BIOS that the computer was set up to stay awake, and this is something I find that is annoying in Windows, where here I this is like a note to myself, so like I don't forget when I start making a vlog that the background process will stay going, and I'm sure your drives will stay going, and I'm sure there are other processes that always let me put it this way, always um, in the background that is always gonna be going. So that is one other thing that you have to change to install something like Debian. If you install it in Ubuntu or any of other distros, you don't have to change anything in the BIOS, but when you uninstall Debian you have to. But like one of the but side note to that, this is like kind of was alarming to me. I never thought about it. I don't know if I even knew about this before I wanted to install Debian, on my machine, where the machine never shut off. So even though when I shut it, it basically put it in a sleep mode but everything else is going. So you can imagine location, all these things, probably all streaming or collecting and streaming to Microsoft. But this is the main reason why I left Windows. The OneDrive. The OneDrive, Microsoft only give you 1 gig of OneDrive, but then, and most people will find out, and I actually find out, I remember many years ago, when Windows 11 started, I guess, or maybe before, I don't, yeah, I think so, something like that. It's like about 3 years ago. No, 2000, no, 4 years ago. So 2001, I had, my computer. I logged in, and I bought another computer, and I logged in, and I noticed that my icons all of a sudden popped up. I never really activated the OneDrive, but the OneDrive, activated in the virtue of signing in to Windows, and or logging into your computer, even when you log in as a local. If if the OneDrive, if you logged into the OneDrive, it will like sync automatically mostly, and then I found out that like it did sync the two machines, but it didn't sync them well. So it failed when it's syncing, but that was something that was not, there was no permission. And the thing that it did sync was the icons on my desktop, because they are set to, you know so if Microsoft, because most people who use Windows computers, they will save things either in the download folder, but mostly in the document and in the desktop. And like if Microsoft was transparent, we'll have a folder for OneDrive or whatever, and you can save things to the OneDrive direct right away. You know, you don't have to steal those, documents, and all of a sudden they are saved. And I'm sure even if you delete them, Microsoft have them. Whatever the folders I had, you know, probably Microsoft still have it, even if I when I deleted it. So I disabled my OneDrive. Didn't work. After a while, it pop up. I deleted OneDrive, and after a few updates, like the hard updates from time to time, they all of a sudden OneDrive is there. So this is a disregard to what I want. This is a real good example of the philosophy of that company, and this is a real example why I really urge anyone to get out of Microsoft and not to use Microsoft. Luckily for us, in this time, we have way better options. I know for the students, especially for students, and when I was in school, and I went to school twice, both times, almost 20 years apart, both times the Microsoft, the school was a Microsoft centric school, but I think more and more even schools, hopefully, and will move out of the OneDrive. And I know like you can do it these days, unless you are into technology uh, where you have to use Windows, or if you are wanna use if you are taking online classes, you know, especially in the local state and local colleges, they are really Microsoft centric. So they have. I remember the second time I went, I got like a certificate in IT, and and uh, and we took. I remember we took Linux, like command prompt Linux and command line for Windows, like in a class, and you have to log to a virtual machine that is have to be Windows virtual machine, and I thought that was ridiculous, but so it was, and that was in the syllabus too, that you need to have a window machine, but for most young people who, let's say, you study normal history or whatever, or education, you can really use Linux normally, because let's say, I mean, I have encountered where they want you to, those schools want you to like have a font that's only available in Microsoft Office, but these days you can like write everything in LibreOffice and do the online OneDrive, which I have here, for example, the online OneDrive. If I need a specific, font that was needed, I can do it. But so you can, there's a lot of workarounds around it, but um, it's not 100%. So like if you are in IT system with local schools, most likely in North America at least, most likely not gonna be able to move very good with anything but Windows or Apple. And if you are taking online school with local, from my experience, they have like what is it, lockdown browser. If you're taking on, you know, you have to have an online machine. The second time I went to a school, it was online. I didn't go to actual to the school physically, and I remember the test I had to take were all of them through lockdown browser, which was, you know, I'm sure there's one a way to do it on Linux, but I couldn't find a way, and it cannot run in a virtual machine. It have to run an actual computer. So like anyway, so that is the problem with the whole thing. So just remember, you know, these crazy, you know, this crazy, you know, time, uh, you know, is always good to. We are living in a crazy time, and it's always be. It's good to take charge in your life, and maybe it's a small step. Like you're not like going to war or whatever, you know, but like you're standing up for yourself by refusing to be a simp and just, you know, buying operating system with a few $100 a year plus giving them your data, you know. For most adults or maybe high school kids or maybe people who are in college that are not in tech, you know, or maybe probably, you know, like you don't really need to use any um, this garbage, or what we call it, Windows. You just need to, you know, take charge, and we have Linux. Go and do it. And that's my 2 cents for this blog. Have a good day.